By now, we are aware of what is a microservice and what are the characteristics of it. Now, let's try to understand why this term microservice has become so trendy these days, and people in all development areas are trying for this approach. So, let's get to the advantages of this microservice. First one is the smaller development teams. Now, as you have got smaller functional services in this approach, it is quite obvious that will require less number of people for development of one particular service. So smaller services need smaller development teams. Better scope for technology or service upgradation. So one particular service, if you want to upgrade the service, one particular service, or you want to upgrade the technology for that particular service, it makes sure that we don't affect the other existing service. So service upgradation or technology changes for one particular service is independent of the other service. Simplified debugging and maintenance as a microservice is composed of smaller functional services. Now, as in a microservice we have smaller services, debugging and maintaining those small services make becomes quite easy. Improved scalability as it is easily scalable as and when required. Now using Docker, OpenShift, Kubernetes, we make sure that a microservice is easily scalable as and when required. Fault isolation as it comfortably handles faulty scenarios without interruption of the services. Now, suppose one particular service is down. In this approach, microservices approach, we make sure that in such scenarios, it's comfortably handled without interrupting the service. Okay. Also, also it's perfectly suited for the agile way of working. Now, these days, almost all development teams are following the agile way of development. So microservice is quite perfectly suited for the agile development. So now everything has its pros and cons. So for microservices as well, if we have got so many advantages, we have few of disadvantages as well. So let's go through those disadvantages. First one, though the smaller modules are simple, but a microservice at times becomes complicated as a whole. Now, suppose you have got a number of smaller services to maintain. If you are trying to maintain one particular unit, one particular module, it's quite easy and simple. But when maintaining all those smaller services as a whole, it becomes quite complicated. Microservices approach require accurate pre-planning for the services. So when you're trying to build the services, smaller services, in this approach, we need to pre-plan the services accurately before the development work. In this approach, we generally have less control over the third-party applications. So this statement can be related only when we have communication established between our application and some third-party applications. So when we at that particular point we realize that we have got less control over the third-party applications with which we are trying to interact. Also, we have got so many services, a number of services into one particular application. Now, we it's it at times it becomes difficult to track those those different modules. Also, when it comes to testing, complete end-to-end testing is difficult and requires accuracy because there are larger number of smaller services that we need to track and we need to uh, maintain. So end-to-end testing becomes a bit of difficult over here. Thank you everyone for watching this video. I hope this was a learning for everyone and would have understood everything related to the term microservices, its advantages, disadvantages, and various characteristics of it. So for more details and more learnings, please visit my website d4developer.com. Also, I would request you to please subscribe to my channel because I'll keep on posting new interactive and informative videos on various topics, various latest trends So please do subscribe, and also please provide your valuable feedback in the comment section. I'll try to improve on those as well. Thank you once again. Bye bye.